Hey there, Stacy here. It's been a long time since I did one of these videos. I've been wanting to and thinking about it and wanted to share what was going on with me. I stopped drinking for a little over 4.5 months ago, March 1, 2025. And I thought I would share with you because I feel like God wants me to share this, so I'm sharing. I've been hesitant to share, but I don't I think I need to, so I am. I had a drinking problem for many, many years, and uh, 23 years, I think, to be exact. Dated somebody years ago that um, it was one big party scene, and I think that was the main thing I inherited out of that relationship. I over the years, that's one thing about drinking is it's easy to hide. Yeah, it's very easy to hide. I, I'd say where I really landed with having a problem was I could not drink. It had become such that 3:30, 4 o'clock, I'm working and I'm thinking, do we have wine in the house? And if we don't, we got to go out because I got to get it. And so weird. I had become the person I did not want to be, and I couldn't fix it. And I tried to fix it. And I remember watching a show over Christmas holidays. It was a Christian music show, and they were all introducing the band, and the drummer is drumming, and he takes a break and he goes, I'm so and so, and Jesus saved me from drinking. I was an alcoholic and I'm no longer drinking. And I thought, well, good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. That didn't happen for me. And I really struggled. And it was interesting because, God forgives us for our sin. And I believe that. And Jesus died to save us from our sin. And I believe in him and I believe that he forgave me and it was a sin, and I listened to so many sermons about, that sin that one sin that so easily entangles. There's a verse in the Bible that Paul is talking about, get rid of that one sin that is entangling you. And I'm like, I can't. I'm trying. And it was I'd have 2 or 3 glasses of wine. I'd say 1 to 3 glasses of wine pretty much every night. And the problem was not that I was a slobbering drunk all over the place. The problem was I could not have a glass of wine. I could not make it through the night. It was at 4 o'clock to 7:30 or 4 o'clock to 7:30 time frame. If I could make it past that, I was okay. But if I was in that window, I mean, it was out of my control. I could not control myself. I had to have a glass of wine. And it caused so much pain. I can't even tell you how much pain. Just so many times I would wake up in the middle of the night, and feel like crap because I had been drinking and I'd have to go to work the next day. I had to work. And I would just get on my knees and pray, forgive me, please forgive me. And I was doing that for so long that, so many years that it got to where, I went through phases of like, you don't want to hear from me. I'm not going to ask you for forgiveness because you're sick of hearing this. I'm sick of asking you for forgiveness. You're sick of me asking you for forgiveness. So why bother? And then there was times where I just like, here I am again. I'm asking you for the same help. I mean, it was an addiction, big time. And I went fly fishing a week or so ago, and it was just me and the fly fishing guide. I was talking to him and I shared that, and he goes, well, why did you quit? And I said, well, I don't think the question is why, it's how. Because that was the biggest challenge. Like, how do I stop? I cannot stop. And I knew God wanted me to stop. It was real clear over the years. When you go to pray and you can't get past, please forgive me for this sin because I keep sinning and I know I'm going to do it again and I want to do it again, in fact, but I know you don't like it and I know you don't want it in my life. So please forgive me for it. Can we just talk about all this other stuff? Because I have so many other things I need to talk to you about, but I never could get over the hurdle of please forgive me for the sin. And it was driving me crazy. It genuinely was impacting everything in my life. It was very difficult. And I thought, I'm just going to have to get stuck. I've just got to live like this. Um, the why I stopped, that's the why. The how I stopped, the why also, I just didn't want to be that person. That's not the person I wanted to be. I so admired people professionally that woke up and worked out at 5 a.m. and, work out, walk the dog, do your devotional, have your breakfast, sit down at 8 a.m. to get your workday started. And you've already done all these things. I couldn't do it. And that's who I wanted to be. And I was not that person because I was too busy drinking to wake up early in the morning and do any of that. And I was too tired from it. Anyway, the how is what I want to share with you, because I really struggled with it, and I think it's important to share. The how is Romans 6. I read Romans 6, and I took it on internally 100,000%. And Romans 6 talks about yes, God forgives you for your sins. So does that mean you just keep sinning because God's going to keep forgiving you? No. But he talks about you can be a slave to your sin or you can be a slave to God. And he even says, I'm speaking in, I'm not talking literal terms. I'm just saying figuratively, um, you can choose to follow Jesus and be all in, or you can be a slave to what you want. You can choose to do whatever you want. And you will be a slave to whatever you obey, whatever you're choosing, you will be a slave to. And it just hit me because I thought that is exactly right. I am a slave to this dang liquid substance. I am a slave to this drink. And I felt like I had a chain around my neck. I am a slave to alcohol, and I don't want to be a slave to it. And so, if the alternative is be all in, effectively be a slave for Jesus, obey him, and that's how I get real freedom, I want that. And I always I will say I was a Christian. I was always a Christian, but that area of my life, I didn't want to give him. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't let go of it because I wanted it. I wanted it. And when I read Romans 6, I thought, do you see what you're doing? Do you see what you're choosing, Stacy? I mean, you want that? He doesn't want you to have it. You have a choice to make. I want to be all in for him and have the real freedom that he provides. And that means I got to give it up. I'm giving it up. And I don't know how to explain it. Honest to goodness, I don't. I thought I had tried that many times before, but it really, at that dining room table, I read Romans 6 and I thought, I have to choose. And I'm choosing Jesus. Period. What I can tell you happened after I truly chose that, the desire to drink was gone. I don't even think about it anymore. I can't even explain it. It truly is nothing short of miraculous. You guys, I would go somewhere and drive around the parking lot 3, 4, 5 times, trying to talk myself out of going in to have a couple of glasses of wine. I had no control over myself. I had to have wine every night or margaritas. I had to have something to chill me out, and I don't feel that way anymore. I don't have the desire. I I saw an interview with Russell Brand where he was interviewed and somebody asked him, why do you still go to AA? Do you not think you're cured now? It's been 20 something years or blah, blah, blah. And he said, because I still respect the reality of what can happen. I think that's really true. I think it's dangerous. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I I pray that I stay like this because I like it. I am thankful. I am all in for Jesus. He owns every aspect of my life, and he is what I want. And he is true love and true freedom. And yeah, if I have to be a slave for Christ, I'm in there all day long because he is the true, loving, kind God of the universe. I'm in. I don't want anything else. I want him, you know. I don't want that anymore in my life. I don't want anything to do with it. And I just feel like it's time to share it. And so I'm sharing it with you guys. It's, in a way, it's interesting because I it's awful being that person. And so I so empathize with anybody that's battling an addiction. It's horrific. I get it. It is so hard. Um, but just know that uh, God still performs miracles and he can save you from it. He really can. Um, he is so kind. He amazes me how kind and patient he is. But make no mistake, he's God. He is almighty, all powerful, all knowing. And we have to choose what we want. We have to choose what we live for and take it seriously. It is no joke. So, God bless you guys. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great afternoon. Read Romans 6. Cheers.